Thank you so much for joining us for another awesome episodes of Bioenergetics Beat. I'm Heather Gray, a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and certified bioenergetic practitioner. And this episode is brought to you today by Nikki. Unleash the wellness within. It's a non-invasive, easily affordable, and highly effective approach to optimize wellness. It's a wearable device that puts frequency better based life in your hands and on your wrist. Say that 10 times fast. Make sure that you stick around to the very end. Well, one, you're not going to want to miss one word that my next guest has to say, but we also always have an amazing giveaway that you're not going to want to miss out on. So make sure to stay tuned and let's welcome Trina Felber to the show.
Yay! Thank you for having me, Heather. I'm super excited to be here.
Me too, me too. It was so awesome just even getting to see you and put my arms around you in real life just a couple days ago, and then here we are on camera. So gotta love it.
I know, never stop. We don't skip a beat, right?
See what you did there. Haha, punny. We're gonna have lots of fun. Trina's an old friend, and she's been doing amazing things. Started off kind of in the I know her best, for the oral care, and then she's shifted gears into one of my even more favorite subjects because of being an ex-hairstylist, right? And knowing how many toxins and stuff are in these products. So she's gone more into the healthcare and just like DIY stuff, and it's just amazing. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how did you get started talking about all the things that you do, the toxins and everything? And yeah, what are you up to these days?
My story really starts when I was turning 40 years old. I was 39. I was graduating from anesthesia school for nursing. So I was going to be a nurse anesthetist, which I currently am. And I was getting married. My husband and I were getting married. I was turning 40. So we knew we wanted to start a family right away. So we went to Fiji because why not? We went there, got married, had the honeymoon there. And I had always struggled with infertility and in the sense that my periods were never regular. But I got pregnant on the honeymoon. Like, we were super excited because here I am turning 40. Like, this is not normal. At this stage, women at the age of 40 are struggling to get pregnant. And so I got pregnant right away. We were super excited, got back to the US, started working as a nurse anesthetist. And at week 7, I miscarried.
Mm.
So it was the miscarriage that literally opened my eyes. So we decided, because we felt like we were pretty healthy at that point. We felt like were eating healthy. We had ditched sugar and gluten at this point. We worked out, that kind of stuff. But it never dawned on me that the things in my environment that I could control were poisoning me. So we changed our laundry detergent, changed our cleaning supplies, added air purification filters and things like that. I got pregnant again pretty quickly. I was at week 7 with my daughter, who's now 16. And it was at week 7 that I was getting ready for work. I glanced at the moisturizer I was using because at this point, I'm paranoid that this pregnancy is going to end. So I look at my face moisturizer from a company that I trusted, and I looked at the ingredients probably for the first time and recognized literally toxins, things that I knew would probably be hurting not just me, but my baby. So I threw it in the garbage. And at this point, I had really bad acne. I had oily skin. I was never able to get rid of this. This was lifelong for me, but it wasn't about me anymore. I didn't care. So I went to the kitchen, and the only thing I could think about putting on my skin was something like olive oil, because I knew the women in Italy used olive oil and I knew that their skin was great. So I put olive oil on my skin. I did this repeatedly every single day, thinking my skin was going to get worse. I was going to have more acne and my skin was going to get oilier. And the opposite happened. My skin cleared up and my oiliness went away. And I was like blown away. People started complimenting me for the first time ever in my life on my skin. And here I am hormonal because I'm pregnant. So this isn't what's supposed to be happening. So I had to reverse engineer what was going on. So that is what opened my eyes to how much we are polluting our body by the products that we're actually putting on our skin.
Absolutely. I always laughed that if I was going to rebrand, it was going to be like the Detox Diva or, something along those lines because detox, and I absolutely I actually think I'm running detox on my Nikki right now because after traveling and getting smacked with mold and, we're just constantly inundated. This lifestyle that we have is not conducive for human health. So if you are frustrated out there, you feel like you've done all the things, tried all the things, and you're still overweight or you have brain fog, you can't get pregnant, you're hormonal, you got skin issues, you got to start looking at how can you remove the toxins in your environment, right?
Right. And all of those things that you just mentioned, I love it because that's what I speak. So, my background in nursing led me to understand at the cellular level how your body performs. And if you're feeding it good food, we all know nutrition is so important, but your second gut is your skin. And what you absorb through your skin makes a difference. So when we're talking about mold and what's in the environment, there's two ways. You're either breathing it in or you're absorbing it through your skin. And your body has to be clean enough to be able to manage it. So your liver has to be able, it can't be overwhelmed. So one of the things that you can control, because you can't necessarily control the environment, but you can control what you put on your skin. And women absorb approximately 150 to 300 chemicals every single day through their skin because of the products that we're using. Women use about 10 to 15 products every day, and that includes makeup, it includes your dental products, your hair products, your body products, everything. Around 15 products. And if each product has just even 20 chemicals in it, and many of them have more, that's a whopping 300 chemicals. And these chemicals can disrupt your hormones. They can cause your thyroid to go out of whack. They can cause your reproductive organs to not function the way they're supposed to. They're also neurotoxins. So they've got heavy metals, including lead and cadmium and all sorts in them that can affect your.
Lipsticks, especially red lipsticks it's some of the top freaking products that they've tested have got lead in it. Lead is part of the fall of Rome, people. Like, this stuff is so ridiculously toxic and accumulates in the body, and it's so hard to get out.
And then it's a double whammy with your lipstick because you actually eat your lipstick. So when
Right.
not only are you absorbing it through your tissue, your lips, but you're eating your lipstick as well. But the main thing with the gut to understand is, when you absorb things through your gut versus your skin is your second gut. When you absorb it through your gut, you have a protective organ or protective mechanism for the body. So the body, the gut, through the portal veins, sends the blood to the liver so the liver can detox the blood. It can convert the chemicals from being oil soluble to water soluble, so you can get rid of them in your urine or in your feces. However, when you absorb them through your skin, you're absorbing these chemicals full strength into your venous blood, and your venous blood then goes to your lungs to be reoxygenated, and then your heart, and your heart pumps this blood everywhere. So a very small percentage will make it to your liver, and the rest is going to your brain and your thyroid and your reproductive organs everywhere with these chemicals. And these chemicals they like to hide. So they are going to be attracted to fat tissue. So you're going to store these chemicals in your fat tissue, which then makes your fat tissue very toxic. And so the main way to get rid of these things is to stop putting them on your body so that you can pull these toxins. These toxins can be pulled out of your fat tissue, back into your bloodstream, so your body can manage the detox and getting rid of them so that you can be healthier. The brain fog, the difficulty losing weight, the mood swings, women going through menopause, really the symptoms are a choice. Most of these chemicals mimic and cause the same symptoms as menopause. I went through menopause 6 years ago now when I turned 50, and I had detoxed these chemicals out of my system for 10 years because this all happened for me at the age of 40. So by the time I turned 50 and went through menopause, I had not one single symptom. And I contribute that highly to the fact that I didn't have any of these hormone disrupting chemicals in my body. That's how powerful those chemicals are. But that shouldn't scare you and shouldn't make you upset. It should actually empower you to take control and say, oh my God, I don't even know what my body will feel like when it's not under the influence of all these chemicals.
It's absolutely insane. Like I said, I was a hairstylist for 15 years. At the same time, I was undiagnosed Lyme disease, mold toxicity, heavy metals. I had mercury in my mouth. Like, this is just how brilliant and beautiful and resilient our bodies are, right? Like, even through all that, I did miscarry once. And so that's a conversation that I think absolutely needs to be brought up more because this stuff, I mean, it's just getting worse and worse. And now they're projecting, like, in how many more years that we're going to be infertile? Like, because of the toxins and the microplastics and the testicles and, all the things, like, people, you've got to wake up, and that's why I'm just like I said, I love having these conversations. But
Yeah.
this is a really great spot right now. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, I wanna dive deeper into your regimen, what you're putting out there these days, like, because I remember it was funny, so even being as savvy as I am, a couple days ago, I showed her what I was using, and she's like, "Nope, that's crap," and I was like, "Oh." So so I'm curious to learn more. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There's a new word for wellness, Nikki. Nikki, the bioenergetic wearable designed to help you feel better and perform better. Other wearables just track how you're doing. Nikki is about helping you do better. Touch the Nikki screen to choose the frequency you want for what you want to do and how you want to feel. Nikki puts a personal wellness center in your hands and on your wrist. Be better. Do better. WeAreNikki.com.
I have struggled with sleep for a while, so I do know that it affects everything, but having insomnia, that's something that I would never wish upon anyone. Like until you don't realize how important sleep is until you lose it, and when you lose it, you really, really realize how much it affects everything. It affects everything within the next day, and then a few days after that, it just like it creates this vicious cycle that you can't get out of. And so that was huge for me. And that was one of my biggest priorities of 2022 is trying to get my sleep back on track and at least just sleeping for a few hours every single night or not waking up every hour on the hour. And the very first day that I wore the device, I slept through the night, which is amazing.
Nikki puts a personal wellness center in your hands and on your wrist. Be better. Do better. WeAreNikki.com.
Yay, welcome back. So let's dive deeper into, yes, what can we do to change these things? What are some of your suggestions? I tell my clients, it's bite by bite, take, even if it's one thing, if you can upgrade one thing a month, if you're using an aluminum deodorant, when it runs out, make sure you switch it and upgrade it. I did the same thing. It took me about 2 years to finally dial in my air purifier, water purifier. I always start with water because we're 70 to 80% water, and then the other one would be your skin. God, it was so heartbreaking sometimes knowing what you know. When I was in the airport, I watched this morbidly obese woman slather on this stinky ass Vaseline fragrant lotion, and it was kind of making me sick, but I just was like, oh, you poor thing. You don't even know that you're continuing the cycle that's, kind of keeping you sick.
Yeah, you're on the hamster wheel. That's what I say. You're on the hamster wheel. And Big Beauty or Big Cosmo, whatever you want to call it, wants you on the hamster wheel. They don't want you to know what I'm teaching. They don't want you to understand. And the reason I really understand what they're doing to you isn't just because I'm a nurse, but it's also because through Primal Life, I formulated all of my own products and I manufactured everything myself. So understanding from that side of the industry as well, plus put the health aspect of being a nurse in there. And I've literally been able to transform people's lives just by swapping out their products. And like you said, it doesn't have to be done overnight. Of course, the quicker you do it, the better you're going to feel, but you don't have to feel like overwhelmed. So many people, I usually say, start with, like, if you want to start today, start with your dental products and your deodorant, because most people don't care about throwing away something that's like $7 as opposed to their face serum that they might have spent 50 to $100 on or even more. So, and then like Heather said, when you're starting to run out of something, before you run out of it and you panic, that is the time, when you're halfway through, be prepared, start doing the research and looking for better things. However, I'm here to also warn you, because I can't not say this, that about 98% of the products on the market, even the ones being told to you or marketed to you as organic and natural or clean, are not safe by my standards. So it's greenwashing to, the nth degree. And it's really hard for consumers, because I have had so many people say, well, I went to the EWG, or I'm good because I use Think Dirty or Yucca. And I'm also here to tell you that I apologize, but they're also hiding the truth from you. There are,
What?
yes,
And why would you apologize about that? Don't apologize.
I don't mean to apologize in a negative way. It's a happy, positive way.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's a, I'm really sorry that you've been duped by them too,
Got it, got it, got
kind
it,
of
got it.
way, because it's, we trust these people. I trusted them, but they aren't taking some types of toxins into consideration, including what type of packaging products are in. They could care less. None of these ratings apps consider the damage that plastic has on your body. I always say, if you want to look like Barbie, then use what Barbie does. If you want to be plastic, use plastic. And
That
not
was the
only,
one thing my brand did have going for it. You're like, oh, well, it's in glass. So that, yeah.
yeah. But there's so many products that are in plastic. And the problem with plastic packaging is the fact that every time it goes through a temperature change, and even if there's not a temperature change, when it's in heat, it's worse. And think about, our bathrooms are usually hot, cold, hot, cold. When you take a shower, it gets really warm. So every time your packaging, the plastic warms up, it leaches more chemicals into the product. So plastic has, these products can have a shelf life of 2 to 3 years. So if you're buying something that's been on the shelf for 2 years, it's been sitting in plastic for 2 years, and it's gone through multiple temperature changes from the manufacturer through transport to a warehouse, to transport to maybe another warehouse, because now Amazon's moving things between warehouses almost on a daily basis. And, if you're going from the East Coast to the West Coast or wherever in the world you are, those temperature changes impact anything in plastic because of the chemicals in plastic. And there's so many bad chemicals in plastic that disrupt your hormones and cause cancer. Talk about being sick and not feeling well. How would you know if, you get rid of the inflammation causing ingredients? You might not need to go to the doctor. Your doctor's not addressing it anyway. Most physicians, you come to them and the checklist. I like the checklist. You have fatigue and brain fog and night sweats, headache, memory loss, sensitivities, irregularities, anything like that. And you're doing the checklist. When's the last time the doctor looked at you and went, let's talk about your skincare? What kind of skincare are you using? Because it's a possibility that the hormone disruptors or the neurotoxins or the chemicals that cause inflammation or cancer could be causing these symptoms. And maybe if we just get rid of those products that you're using and supplement them and put them, other things in their place, maybe I wouldn't have to do blood work. Maybe I wouldn't have to send you for the test that's coming back negative all the time and we still can't figure out what's wrong with you. And maybe I wouldn't have to prescribe you these medications to get rid of your symptoms, because that's like the golden gem of what happens when you get rid and stop putting these things on your body, is that your body actually feels normal again, and these symptoms might actually go away, and you might actually feel like yourself again. And we've lost that.
People don't even know what it's like to not have symptoms. I say often, no matter how common a symptom may be, it's never normal, right? It's always your body's check engine light coming on saying, hey, dummy, there's something going on in here. But we all too often take a piece of tape over that check engine light. But it's
Pause
funny.
button.
Yeah.
Pause.
But then that's the other thing I used to like, even 15 years ago, the old me would kick the new me's butt. Right? Because like 15 years ago, I was like, damn hippies, everything's going to give you cancer. And now I'm like, oh my God, everything is going to give you cancer because this stuff is not meant for human consumption.
I mean, you have to look at a product list, an ingredient list. I mean, if you're not checking your ingredient list at this point, To even if you don't know what you're looking for, you should be opening your eyes to what you're putting on your body. And the best way to say it is, if you wouldn't take that moisturizer, and I wish I had one in front of me, and put it on your salad, okay? If you wouldn't put it on your salad or slap it on your burger for some flavor or whatever, if you wouldn't put it in your mouth and eat it, then there is no reason you should be putting it on your skin, because your skin is absorbing it full force. And it doesn't matter how few or how many chemicals are in there. About 60% of what you put on your skin gets absorbed, and it typically only takes between 30 and 60 seconds. So the minute you slap something on your skin, about 30 to 60 seconds later, it's in your body, it's in your bloodstream. And how many times have we done this? I mean, I think about women and men just spraying themselves with perfume that is completely toxic. And then 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes later, don't feel good, but never stop to think, what did I just put on my body? All of a sudden, I've got a headache. I don't feel good. I have a little bit of
Nausea,
brain
hot
fog.
sweats.
Yeah, all of that. But they never go back and think, oh, I just put that nasty perfume on, and make changes. So that's the first step, is starting to look at your ingredient list of the products that you're using and starting to understand what those ingredients are. And I simplify this with what I'm doing now. I make it so easy for you to understand what you're using and what's good and what's bad. There's really no memorization with what I teach. It's really super simple, because the main idea or the fact is, when you omit simply one ingredient from products, you pretty much omit all the toxic ingredients, and it's unbelievable.
It's truly maddening out there right now. I'm a big fan of Emily in Paris.
Oh
And
yeah, I've heard this new season's great. I haven't watched it.
it is, but one
Oh.
of their clients, which is a cologne client, wants to make a baby cologne.
Oh no. Oh gosh.
Like, I was pissed. I wanted to cry. I was angry. I'm like, no, 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 no. Do not be spraying your babies with this toxic soup crap. Like, the insanity.
And babies are even more susceptible. They have brown fat. And so they are more susceptible to storing these toxins in their fat, but their nervous system is underdeveloped. So they're going to be more affected, and, when you can't communicate well with a baby. When a baby starts crying, you don't know if it's a headache, if it's nausea, you don't know what the problem is. Moms it's hard enough to be a parent, not just moms and dads. I know I have 3 kids and I had twins. It's hard enough to be a parent without having more symptoms that you're pretty much giving your child because of the products that you're putting on them. So babies, more than anybody, really need to be protected. And you know what's interesting? The EWG did a study back in 2004, and it blows my mind that I don't think we have any updated research. I haven't seen anything. But back in 2004, the scientists actually believed that the placenta was a barrier and that the baby was protected from environmental toxins or pollutants from skincare products and diet, that the baby wouldn't get these from the mom. And in 2004, they did a study, and they did a really small study. This is how much they believed that the placenta protected the baby. They only did 10 babies. They studied the cord blood from 10 babies. They only used a very small sample of chemicals from skincare and the pollution environment, because they really thought they knew it all, and they knew that the baby was protected. But what they found was that in 10 babies, they found 287 chemicals. And I think, my numbers aren't correct because it's not in front of me, but like 200 and something were neurotoxins. About 180, I think, caused cancer, and birth defects and things like that. It blows my mind that we don't really have any updated research, but now we do know that babies are being born polluted. And so we have to be more cognizant, especially pregnant women, of what you're putting on your body, because it is getting absorbed. And if your body is detoxed or clean, then being exposed to something, even mold, your body should be able to manage that and get rid of it so that you are not affected by it and like taken away or taken down by it. So that's the main thing is, nobody can ever be 100% protected from all chemicals. We'd have to live in a bubble,
That's why I
right?
laugh. I'm like, pretty soon I'm going to become the bubble girl.
You're going to come out in that big bubble yeah, we just can't live like that. But so that's why we have to really get rid of all these toxins so that our bodies can handle it. And then you can feel good again. You can sleep good. All of this affects your sleep. It affects your mood. It affects your brain. It affects everything.
Okay, so step one, well, there's two steps to detoxing, right? There's the things that you can do physically to help your body detox. Number two is by getting all the toxins as much as you can out of your environment so that you're not adding to your body burden to begin with. So tell us a little bit more about what you're doing these days with the products and what you're putting out there and like what you suggest, how can people get educated better on this?
So I'm a clean beauty expert. I've been doing this for over 16 years, teaching women how to detox their personal care products. And so what I did, I've had so many women over the course of years, men too, asking me, how do I do this? What do I do? And so what I ended up doing is putting together an online program that is, something that you sign up for and you go at your own pace and you go through the 5 modules. And by the time you're done, you're a clean beauty badass because you will no longer be duped by anything that anybody tries to tell you. The greenwashing out there is so bad that you'll look at a product and within 3 seconds go, yep, you're not worth my time, your money, my health, or my beauty. So that's what I'm putting together. I also do some coaching. I have group coaching and one-on-one coaching programs for people that want to take it a step further. And in the program, I teach you what types of products to use. I give you suggestions and all of that, but I can't give you specific suggestions because I'm not working with you one-on-one and everybody's different. So through coaching is how I work with people one-on-one. And I actually develop a whole program. It's a 6-week coaching program. And I develop a whole program that also includes some like face exercises as well to help, rejuvenate your face because
I've been seeing your Instagram posts and God bless you. You just put yourself out there. You don't give a rat's ass, because it's kind of silly. They're kind of silly.
Yeah, you look really funny. But one of the things, and I know with frequency, and you're talking about detox and frequency, I just want to touch base on this and how this really correlates with skincare and what you're putting on your body. You have to think about chemicals as dead. They are dead. They are not alive. Chemicals are dead. They're going to lower your body's frequency or vibration level. And oils, essential oils have a higher frequency, and some of them have a higher frequency than your body frequency. So they're actually raising up your body vibration or frequency and creating wellness. So the idea behind, energetic skincare is really something that nobody's talking about. But it's the baseline and underneath. And even though I don't do a lot of talking about it, I probably should. It's really what I'm trying to do with your body as increase your vibration or your frequency, because the higher frequency is more apt to repel the toxic mold and the toxic things from pollution and, the different types of heavy metals that you're being exposed to from pollution and skincare and all of that kind of stuff. So if your body has a higher vibration, so for instance, the skin has a vibration or frequency between 80 and 200. So if you're putting a chemical-based product and even water, so a water-based product is what I like, the equal sign is water equals chemicals, because water means you have to have certain ingredients in there. So if you're using a water-based product, you're using a chemical-based product. Most likely, I haven't really seen any water-based products that aren't chemical-based. So when you're doing that, even if there are oils or essential oils in them, the water and the chemicals bring down the vibration so that it is a dead ingredient or dead product. And by the way, most of those products that are putting oils or essential oils, but they're using chemicals, are using cheap oils. So they've been highly processed. So it's kind of like, the good food that's not processed versus the processed food. So it's still highly processed, and most of them are processed with chemicals. So even though it's an oil, you have to know the source of the oil is most likely going to be a lower vibration or a dead oil as opposed to a living oil. So instead, swapping what you're using to something that has a higher frequency or an equivalent frequency, like rose oil, jojoba oil, so many oils that I can think of, marula, bakuchi, olive oil,
Bless
many of
you.
yeah, thank you. Many of these have a higher frequency or, similar frequency to your skin. Like even frankincense has a frequency of 147, lavender 118, rose oil is the highest. It's around 320.
Really?
So yeah, so when you're thinking about, that's why a lot of, when you're talking about crystals, people use rose quartz because of the
Mm.
higher frequency.
Hmm.
And there's even some oils I've even infused oils with the like rose quartz and things like that, because the vibration, it increases the vibration. So you can even play around with that. Some of the things that I also do is teach you how to make your own products. So you can play around with creating your own products. Then if you have any kind of I hate to say allergy, but if there's something that doesn't work well for your body, you don't put it in because you make your own products. It's really simple to make your own products.
Do you have, speaking of your own products, are you going to be putting out a line?
Not in the near future. I've been asked that. I
Wow.
know. I've been asked that.
Make it
I,
easy for me, Trina.
I know. I promise. I've been asked that a lot. You wouldn't believe how many people have asked me if I'm going to come out with my new line. And I don't have an answer, yes or no. It is in my heart, of course. So I'm letting it brew there for a little while I finish this little chapter of my life of getting the education piece out there.
Okay.
So the way I'm doing it right now is I'm helping people learn how to detox, understand, so they stop getting tricked, stop putting things on your skin, and you can start to heal. Because there really is no point if you're having symptoms and they're symptoms that are related to your nervous system, your immune system, or your endocrine system, which is your hormones. You've been exposed most likely to the toxins from your personal care products or your environment. So let's work on that, because why do you want, or why should you want to go to see a doctor for something that an elimination diet of, not just food, but skincare? Do the elimination diet, detox, and let's see where you land. You might not have those problems anymore. I mean, imagine how many people have thyroid disease, thyroid symptoms, get put on thyroid medications, go for testing and all sorts of things, who are just literally putting 40 to 50 hormone disruptors, disrupting their thyroid on their body every single day. Now, what would
Not to
happen?
mention the drinking the chlorinated and showering in chlorinated water, which is also a huge enemy to the thyroid.
100%. Yeah. And even our sun protection. So in my program, I teach you all of this. I teach you about sun protection as well, and how you can actually use products that block chlorine absorption from pools, just in the way that
What?
they're formulated. Yeah. Yeah. Of course, it might not block all of it, but it's going to significantly block the chlorine absorption that you would normally get. And the chlorine really impacts your thyroid really bad. So
So you had dropped a hint like twice about your age. How old are you?
I'm 56.
56. Yeah. Oh my gosh, you look amazing. And this
Thank
isn't a filter, folks. I was just in person with her a couple days ago. So she's 10 years older than I am, and we look like the same age. Like, oh my gosh, you're beautiful, absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. So I detoxed. My skin looks better than I did, when I was in my 30s. And even in my early 40s. It was once I started detoxing these chemicals. So that's really how these chemicals impact your body is one thing, but how they impact your skin is another. And it's a simple fix of removing them. And I know people think, oh my gosh, it's so expensive to just use clean beauty, or what truly is clean beauty. And I'm here to tell you, it's way cheaper than using ingredients that are causing you to need medication, get lab draws and blood tests and other types of tests, that not to mention the time that you spend doing those types of things, plus how you feel. Like, I have never felt better I don't have the symptoms that most of the women my age have. Again, I never had one menopausal symptom, not one. I remember being in the OR and it's freezing in the OR. And, I did anesthesia. So we sat there with blankets on because it was so cold. And I remember the nurses going through menopause. And I kept thinking, this is what I have to look forward to, would be like trying to take off every layer of clothes that they could take off because they had such hot flashes in this ice bucket. And I kept thinking, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And then it comes, I do this research, my life evolves, I become this clean beauty expert. And I can't help but think how many of those women are causing their own problems, not knowing it. I mean,
Right.
it's not your fault. But once you know this information, every single one of you listeners out there, now that you know this information, I'm challenging you to do what you need to do to detox your body of these chemicals. And one of the easiest things that you can do is switch your products, your dental products, your skincare products, your body products, your sun products. All of this is what I teach in my program.
So how do they find out more about your program?
Oh, well, they go to, and I'll give you the link as well. And anyone that clicks through Heather's link, of course, you're going to get a price drop of at least $200, depending on when you listen to this and what the pricing is, but it's around $200. But I'll give you the price or the link so they can check you out or look through there. But it's courses.trinafelber.com will be the link. And it's super easy and super simple. And that's the first step. I always tell people, go through the program. It's self-paced. You learn everything the beauty industry doesn't want you to know. You learn about the EWG and why it's not as
Oh
accurate
my
as you
gosh.
believe it to be. I teach you how to read a skincare label. One of the second lessons that I teach you, it's the second one, is I get you started right away with the skin detox program. And it's super simple and almost everybody has it in their home. So you don't even have to go out and buy it. So literally you get started right away. And as you learn, you start to transition all of your products. So it's not this burden of, oh my gosh, but of course, the sooner you can transform your body, I say, change and detox your personal care products and transform your health, because that's really what you're doing. You're transforming your health. And then you'll come out. It'll probably be, you'll start to feel better almost immediately, almost like 2 to 4 weeks. People say they start to see a difference. The feeling comes, 2 to 4 months later, but a year later is when, if you've done everything I tell you and you've transitioned, it's about a full year process of detoxing your fat. And, that's just the way it is. Our fat loves to hold on to it, and it takes a while.
And thank you for that, because so many people have such unrealistic expectations. I'm like, you have been sick, overweight, brain fogged, for how long? Like it takes a minute to undo, but thank God that we can undo it. And really, if you think about it, like me, I was in a toxic environment for over 15 years with a chronic health disease. Within 3 months, my life had completely turned around. Like, how incredible is that?
Yeah. And it's because your body can handle it. So what happens with your fat tissue, I like to tell people this because this makes more sense to people when they understand it this way. So I doing anesthesia, I always like to tell people, so when we put someone to sleep, we give you high doses of anesthetic because your blood, we have to fill your blood, which is going to rush to your brain and put you to sleep. However, your blood is constantly leaching the what we put you to sleep with into your fat. So we have to keep the level high enough to keep your blood high enough, because it's equalizing. So it's going to try and create this equilibrium between your fat tissue and your blood. When we reach that level, we don't have to keep, we can keep your gas more stable. We don't have to keep increasing anything. So you get to that level. How do we wake you up? We shut the gas off. So right now, everybody that's, using toxic products, you're constantly putting that on your skin and on your body, and you're at this level that is an equilibrium between your blood and your fat tissue. So when you shut the gas off, when you shut the toxin load off, what happens is, to wake you up, your body will start to get rid of it. And so you start to wake up, sometimes it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And even when you wake up, you're still groggy. And that's because you have to get rid of it from the fat tissue. So the fat will continuously lose it because your body is getting rid of it in the blood, and the blood and the fat always wants to be equal. So whatever's lower, it's the concentration. Lower concentration will pull from higher. So the concentration from your fat will always lower. So this is what's happening over the course of a year when you're detoxing your body from anything, is that initially you'll have a big impact, but through the rest of the year, to completely detox your fat tissue, you've got to have a lower state in your bloodstream to pull from the fat tissue. And then your body and your liver, this is why it's such a nice detox. Your body and your liver can very easily now get rid of that because it's not overwhelmed.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely. So one of my favorite way to detox is with my Nikki. Make sure that you go to wearenikki.com/podcast, enter in BioBeats to get 10% off. And because we love our customers so much, one way that we show appreciation is we give away a free Nikki device plus the wellness set of frequencies. I think it's a $597 value. So make sure to go to the show notes, find Trina's course, and I'll put the link in there for you to save a discount, and also for you to be able to sign up so that you can possibly win your own Nikki. Thank you so much, Trina, for joining me today. Like I said, if you couldn't tell our passions for this subject, then you're dead, because we just have so much fun geeking off each other. And I'm just so grateful to be in this space with you, and everybody else. Make sure to have a healthy day. Thanks.
Hey guys, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my favorite and probably my most impactful frequency that I use on the Nikki. If you've never seen this before, it looks like a little watch, but it's actually a frequency device with a bunch of different frequencies. It's bioenergetic, so it has this little frequency light situation that goes into your arm, and it pretty much makes an immediate difference. But my personal favorite frequency is the insomnia one. If you know me, you know I don't sleep at night. I'm known for those middle of the night texts and random thoughts, and I have been that way my whole life, not just since I got sick with tick-borne illness. But the Nikki nighttime and or insomnia frequency is basically programmed to work with your body's natural resources to get you to go to sleep and get you set for nighttime. It helps with cellular repair and detoxification overnight, which is super, super important for everyone, but especially with people with Lyme and tick-borne illness like me. So I just wanted to kind of demystify it and share a little bit about it. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Bye.
Nikki puts a personal wellness center in your hands and on your wrist. Be better, do better. wearenikki.com. The views, information, and opinions expressed in this content are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of Freemedica. Freemedica Technologies, Inc. and its employees are not responsible, nor verifies accuracy any of the information contained in the following content. The primary purpose of this content is to educate and inform. This content does not constitute medical or other professional advice or services.